Thanks for joining finance training this Wednesday. Appreciate everyone's time. We do have KT joining us a little bit late. She has an update that she would like to give everyone. So first we'll kind of go through some introductions, give her time to hop on, and then just a couple reminders. So yeah, we'll run through introductions. We'll take a Workday overview, basics of how to get into Workday, where to find it, where to save it on your browsers. Then we'll also take a look at Workday Finance tasks. The business office or finance office, as we are now known, has really undergone some important changes with regard to Workday and the Workday tasks that you have probably already started completing inside of Workday. And they've prepared some really important Q&A points, troubleshooting points, frequently asked questions. So we are going to let them get through their presentation. They've all brought those burning questions that you've had, and hopefully gotten answered so that it benefits everyone for our continued learning. So we will go through those first, and then we will open it up for a live Q&A. So some housekeeping items. We are recording this session. This session will be available afterward. To participate, please hold your questions until the Q&A portion, where we will also take questions in chat. You can come off mute during Q&A and then, or raise your hand. So that's always super helpful to raise your hand. Our team also has an ask a question form. If for some reason you're going through the information we've provided, the information in Unity or any other information, and you just don't have your question answered, you can submit an ask a question form to our team, and we will try to find that right person to get back to you. And then also you can check out our modernization frequently asked questions. This slideshow and all of the resources that we are sharing will be made available to everyone who registered so that you will have direct links in your email to find all the information that we are covering today. All right, so we will just start with a few introductions. I'm Sarah Brooke. You've probably been in past trainings, but if not, I am a technical writer for our modernization team. Our team works cross-functionally to help train, communicate, and troubleshoot Workday issues, questions, and really try to make sure that everyone has the most up-to-date information to be able to work inside of Workday. Also joining me are members of financial services at the college. KT, I want to double check and see if she is on. KT, are you with us yet? All right, we'll give her another minute. She had an issue with her garage, but now she's on her way, I believe. Carol, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, good morning. I'm Carol Reifenrath. Hope and I work together on the purchasing department. We take care of any changes that might need to be made to requisitions as they come through. Hope keeps track of the purchase orders. Well, I'll let her tell you that. I will enter the suppliers. If you don't find a supplier in Workday, then you can create a supplier. Then I also am taking care of verifying the P-card transactions. I also do the Canon copiers, a few other things, but that's basically it.
Oh, thanks, Carol. Hope, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Hope Might. I am a purchasing agent. I create um the POs. You guys send them in. I create those, enter them, print them, send them to the vendors if possible or need be. I also order P cards. We do P card training. And that's pretty much what I do.
Awesome. Thank you, Hope. And Jordan, I saw you out there too.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jordan. I am a part of accounts payable. I do all your reimbursements, travel authorizations, uh, student checks, and even work with your guys' P cards.
Awesome. I'm sure we'll have lots of questions about those things later. And Brianna, I'm hoping you are with us.
Yep, I'm here.
All right.
I'm Brianna. I just moved to a new spot in the business or the finance office. But I was accounts payable. I pay all of our vendors. Um, and that's pretty much it. That's my only job. It's just paying all of our bills.
That's
All
a
right.
big job.
It is a big
There's a
job.
lot.
I have a hard time paying my own bills, so.
Yeah, believe me, when I
Okay.
have to pay another OPPD bill for our house, it's like, ugh, here we go again.
All right, awesome. And Dannon, who may be a new face for our finance trainings. And Dannon, tell us a little about yourself.
She is not currently here right now. She's at a
Okay.
doctor's appointment.
She can't put her speaker on, but I will kind of introduce Dannon because I worked pretty closely with her. She has
Yeah.
been instrumental in helping get keeping accounts payable current while we are working on our Workday implementation. Um, she has been very hard at work helping with just getting all of the bills in and processed and asking questions when I am working on other things. So she's been a great help to the finance
Yeah,
office.
fantastic. All right, so KT, do we have you yet? Are you available?
Not yet.
Okay, so once KT is able to join, we'll have her give some more context around some of the changes that have been happening. But we are happy to announce that College Financial Services has replaced the terminology of business office. They still do all of the same great things, but it also enhances some of the changes that they're making to bring the college into more modern business practices. So the other announcement I have for all of you is that we have been working in the back end on the Unity sites. All of the Unity sites for Workday are getting a facelift. That also includes the Workday Finance site, which was previously called Business Office Resources. It will now be called Workday Finance. We are refreshing the job aid resources. We are adding some additional FAQs, terminology to help guide you from translating from that old system colleague into the new system. And then we're also revamping how we are sharing recordings. So one thing that we are doing this week is setting up a YouTube site for Workday Finance. And you'll be able to very easily view recordings through YouTube. So that is something else to keep in mind. And once that is ready to go and live, we will share that as well. So, KT, I thought I heard a couple people buzz in. All right. If not, we will move on and then have her give her update when she is able. All right. A little bit of an overview if you are not yet aware or have not given this a shot. Hopefully, everyone has done this. You will need Unity to access Workday. Unity is accessible through our MCC website. So you would start at the MCC homepage. You can also bookmark these links. The link to the MCC homepage, super great resource for everything at MCC. Unity is our intranet. Then from there, you would log in to Workday through Unity apps. So that is something to keep in mind. These are all links that you can tag to whatever your favorite browser is, and then automatically you will be authenticated to get into the sites at MCC. All right. So we have got quite a few tasks that we are going to have our finance office folks run through. These probably will look familiar to you. And what we're going to do is have them demo some frequently asked questions and help you troubleshoot so that you have more current information. So I'm going to switch over to Workday. And then Carol, I think you are up first.
Okay, sounds good. Grab my screen for you. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to do the find supplier first.
Okay. So if you are needing to enter, this is the step before the requisition, right, Carol? If you need to see if a supplier is already in the system,
Right,
or if you need to submit a supplier request.
correct. So we're going to go to find supplier. You might put the name in, and I'll just start out with something simple. No, that's not there. And you look for it in the supplier name. That's not going to be there either. So in find supplier, when you're not finding the supplier, there are a few other fields that might apply here. There's another one that will be added shortly, and that is the tax ID number. So you can search by a tax ID number, right, Brianna? We're going to add that. And if you're not finding your supplier, let's go to create.
And if you notice too, everyone, she is only really needing to type in the first 3 letters of each word, and that will bring up the terminology in Workday.
So let's go in and then the fields with the asterisk are the ones that you need to fill in. For the supplier category, of course, that's one that applies most closely. You don't need to fill in the payment methods, but you do the type, and usually that is a check.
Hey, Carol.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that you are on the create supplier task. They
Oh,
will be using the create supplier request.
You're right. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Yep. I jumped ahead. Create supplier. Create supplier request. Thank you, Brianna.
No
So- And you don't need to fill in these. If you have a tax ID, that's fine. And then you put in a reason or what you're using it for. When you come down here, you can put in the address of phone or email. I won't have phone or email information you would have that. It's your supplier. The address, I can always add that. But what I do require is in the attachment, drop in the W-9. That way I can complete the record. And once it's done, then on my side, when I complete it, it will tell you that your supplier's done and it's ready to use.
Right.
Category. Oh, there you go. The category doesn't have an asterisk, but it does require.
Right.
There we go.
Any other really common questions that you get on supplier requests or new suppliers?
Do we also have to fill out that citizen form? Can't find the name of it. The Addison.
Oh, attestation. That is for the non-employee
Okay,
payment.
I see. I see.
And that it would be for people who submit for payment and they are using their social security number, not a standard tax ID, but social security number. Then you can ask for the attestation. If this is someone you've used in the past and submitted the attestation, it's not required again. It's a one-time thing.
Okay.
So once your supplier is ready, then go in and create your requisition. And then there you would select your non-employee payment. Okay,
Right. So,
next.
yeah. Anything else on new suppliers that you wanted to share, Carol?
That would really be it. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
Type in that name in the category and drop in your W-9 and we're good to go.
Awesome.
Hey Sarah, this is Kathy. Hello. Just wanted to bring to your attention a couple questions in the chat just related to this screen, wondering how to find it. Just before you move on.
Okay. So yeah, so this is some function that that Carol demoed. Type that supplier request inside of your search bar, and that's how you get there. So that opens up the brand new screen where you can add that information.
Yep.
Okay.
Supplier
And then
name category.
yeah, the request will go over to Carol and she will check that all of the information is complete. And then you will get a notice when it's finished.
Does everyone have access to this screen, or would there be certain classifications of employees that will not have access to this?
Yes, yeah. So this is something, I believe it is a general item.
Because it looks
for-
like the people who are asking in the chat are faculty who are not able to see the screen come up.
If that's the case and you've searched create supplier request, then definitely message the team. So there are different tasks. Create supplier is a internal task, I believe, to the finance office. So you need to search create supplier request. If that's not something that's coming up for you, then go ahead and contact. It will be an IT request so that you have that permission to look for that.
Okay.
I'm able to find it myself in my Workday, and I'm not a member of the finance team. So just keep that in mind.
That's what it is. Alrighty.
All right.
So
So if you can
next.
also maybe save questions for the Q&A, that would help us get through the tasks. We have quite a few tasks to get through, and I believe Hope is up next.
Good morning
Good morning. And then
again.
our second item is creating requisitions and looking at purchase orders. So Hope, do you have some questions, like what's some really common issues folks are having?
Like the attachments, um, but other than that, it's like the order of who needs to approve. Um, but I don't have too many issues. They know how to create, well, I haven't had any too many questions as far as creating requisitions. But like maybe to do an attachment or who needs to sign, like Seth will have to sign software. So I might have to include him in some of the approvals.
Okay.
Like they will skip him as far as the approving part, then I'll have to include him on the approving line. So other than that, I don't seem to have too many issues with them.
Okay. So,
This is KT. I will say, one thing that Hope or any of us deal with here from you guys is we still will get calls like, oh, where is my purchase rec? Is it a PO? And I don't know if you could share your screen, Hope, and pick up just search any PO purchase rec, and you can show them where they can see that it's become a PO. The only improvement that we'd like to see here is right now you can only see your own stuff. So if I created the requisition, then I can find out where it's at. But if I did it for my boss and my boss wants to know where it's at, they can't see that. I can see everybody's stuff. So we're trying to get everyone access to see everything as far as like purchase order information like that. But for now, you can at least look up your own items that you put into the system and see if they're stuck somewhere, see if they or if they've been completed.
that's really helpful. I have it completed that I can share. So I'm going to go to my Workday. One thing I know that we also defined a little bit more in the job aid information is if you are needing to provide purchase order information over to your supplier, normally it happens. That's something that Hope takes care of, right, Hope? But I know that the requisition number is going to be different than your
PO number.
In the
purchase.
PO number.
Yeah, so that's a really important thing to be aware of. And then the purchase order comes after the requisition request and after that approval.
So if you can open that requisition, just so we can see it, I'll show, and people, it may be something that they
You
know.
can look at the 3 dots right next to the
Oh, there
requisition
it is.
number,
Okay.
and then click view.
All right.
If you go down to the lines, and if you scroll the black bar all the way to the right,
And
see
there's a
that
PO
final
number.
column there, it says PO. So that requisition
great.
has become a PO, and you can click on it and the PO will come up.
I do want to just point out something. If you use this screen, Workday has a functionality where if you click up to where these little icons are at the top right of the lines, go down just a little bit. So all of these icons to the right, like above the service line, the gray bar, to the right. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right.
All those little guys at the top.
The little icons, yeah. There's
Right.
an
These
icon.
Yeah.
here. Are you talking about the
Yeah.
report functions?
So
Okay.
this middle one with the bar at the top and the 2 columns, yeah, that one. You can move all of these sections. So if you're using this quite a bit, you can move that PO, the business document part, all the way to the front, so it immediately comes up to show you. So anything you care about, you can drag and drop or move up and down all of these columns, or hide or freeze them to make sure that you're seeing the stuff you want to see first. And that is everywhere in Workday pretty much. So I just wanted to point that out because this is a pretty good example of it. So Sarah could scroll down, find business document, move it all the way to the top. So you're not having to scroll every time to find it. Sourced. It'd be down.
Source.
the-
Okay.
yeah, that
And then
one.
you
You
drag
can
up.
drag it all the way to the top. And you can freeze it. So that's frozen now. So if she applies it down to
So-
the bottom and apply, and
And
then
it
you
will
can
come
scroll
up.
down, and now your purchase order is at the very beginning. So when it does become a purchase order, you can see it there. Or if you're wondering if it has been completed.
Nice.
And that'll be for any requisition they open.
Yeah, that stays there.
Yep.
So anywhere you see that that little icon there, you can format it to show the things that you care about and not the things that you don't. I use it all the time because there's a bunch of stuff I don't care about.
Okay, these are great.
Yeah.
I think this is a really helpful tool for folks.
Yeah.
So if,
there's-
Yeah.
yeah,
So, I mean, if you don't, we never use the image, for example, so we could hide that column. Most people don't care about, the deliver to once they put in the requisition, so you could hide that. You could do ship to, you could hide all those. So yeah, it's really helpful to kind of customize your own experience in Workday for what you are needing to see immediately.
yes.
So it's been very helpful for me.
That is a really helpful point. Anything else, Hope or Brianna, any common questions you receive on requisitions and purchase orders that would be helpful to highlight?
Go ahead, Bri.
Go ahead.
I really don't have anything. Like I said, they'll call in and they don't really even call. I think they know what they're doing. I don't have too many issues as far as now, do everybody know how to do the attachment? Like I have, I see where they do have the attachments in there. It's not too often that, in the beginning, I would say, okay, well, you don't have your attachment, but since the trainings have been going on, the attachments and all that has been in there. I think people are doing a good job.
Oh, good job, everybody.
Outside of, like I said, when the approvals come in, a lot of times, like I said, because of software set is missed, everyone knows the dollar amount and whatnot. So they do have their cost center managers and VPs included.
And I will say, Hope, that that's more of a process improvement that'll get fixed. I'm going to look at getting software, no matter where it's charged to, sent to Seth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not
Automatically put in there.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily a customer issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, Sarah, can you click on the related actions next to your requisition number right there at the blue
Yes.
hyperlink? Can you go to procurement for just 1 second? I want to see something. Yep. So anytime that you do a requisition and maybe you want to copy the exact same details, you can add it to cart and it will pull in the exact same information that you've already put in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it will completely copy the entire thing, which I think is helpful for some people who have, repeated purchase requisitions that they don't necessarily want on like something like a blanket PO. But you do need every so often to copy the same exact information. You can find your requisition number, click that related actions icon, go to procurement and add to cart, and it'll copy the exact same thing that you had previously.
Now,
Oh, that's cool.
let's say you wanted to change the vendor though. Could you change the vendor?
Yep.
Good. So that's one
in
like
it's in the checkout section. It's the same screen.
so you might want to do that and it creates all your front end stuff.
Yep.
And you might want to just change the vendor and the dollar
And then
amount.
you go to edit more
Oh, I see that. Yeah. Edit
or
more
access
details.
advanced checkout.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
so
is
it's just
cool.
another option if you do repeated requisitions that are pretty much the same.
Okay.
Can you go back to the beginning on that one?
Yeah, that would be beneficial for blanket POs because a lot of those are repetitive.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, so that way you can move year to year without having to fill out all of the same information, and then you just change the dollar amount and you're good to go.
Do you want to show them again where you see that? The 3 buttons and the procured thing?
Yep, so if you're coming to this screen, you go to view.
View that requisition.
And then it'll be at the very, very top. Next to the blue hyperlink, go to related actions, procurement, add to cart.
And the add to cart was right there on the
Yeah,
The
it
very
went really
first one.
yeah,
quickly.
you hit too quick.
And then, so basically this is in my cart. And now, since I did it before, there are 2 line items here.
Yep, so now you have 2 of them in your cart. I would just do checkout, or you could delete it there. Yep. There's a lot of ways to do the same thing in Workday, so you can't really mess it up too bad.
Yeah.
So you could either go here, and if it's exactly the same, only the price is different, I would just change the price number, like how much you're needing on that PO. Or if you wanted to do a little bit more changes, you could access your advanced checkout there at the top right in the blue hyperlink, and that'll bring you to the screen that you're more familiar with.
Yep.
Yep, it looks like a regular requisition
Yep.
there. And then, so Hope and Brianna, also, this next task that we were getting to is very related, and it involves reviewing and approving invoices when it comes to those purchase orders.
Yep.
So any additional information you'd like to add on about that? Like, I know that sometimes these invoices are already attached. You guys attach them. That's an experience that I've had. But then I know also if you receive something and you need to get it over to the purchasing department, you can also attach it here.
Yep. So the attachments kind of went through a lot of iterations, as most people here remember. So we needed to find a way for AP to know that there is an invoice attached to it, but also so that AP doesn't get all of the POs. So what we've decided on is that when you do your attachment and you attach anything, the attachment category type is required. And that is what is driving AP to get whatever it is that you're attaching. So anything with a-AP at the end will be sent to accounts payable for payment immediately once the PO is created. So you can see it right here. You've added your attachment categories right here. And after the fact invoices at the very top. It's usually what people are using. But like I said, anything with the -AP after it will immediately get sent to accounts payable for payment once the PO is done.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
So is that why you guys don't need the POs anymore because it just automatically?
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets sent to our inbox as a notification that the PO is ready and that there is an invoice attached to it. And so we can just go in and do what we need to do there.
Sweet.
Yep.
So
Right.
when we started this, a few months ago, we were having everyone send their invoices to the accounts payable inbox, which still works. The vendors can still send them directly there, and that's great. But if you're doing something and you have the invoice in hand and you attach it there, as long as you hit one of these AP dashes, it's going to get to the AP inbox. So we
So
figured out a way to take a step off your plate.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's easier.
so basically when you see AP, that mean that have not been paid is basically invoice for y'all could send the payments right away. Is there like a queue?
Yeah, so payment, you're not making the payment yourself. You're just attaching it so accounts payable can process it. So this is still the requisition stage. You can look at your PO and see if it's been paid. And if you pull up a PO, Brianna can show you the fields where you can see the AP actions that have been taken.
So anything else with invoices that we should keep in mind? Any common issues or questions that you guys get?
Outside of it, is it paid?
I have a question. So now, Bree, the libraries are sending our invoices to you once we have a PO. Can we just put the invoices in this file here and send it when we do the requisition?
Yes.
Yep.
That's what we've created.
Okay.
So we can, you don't have to send them to the accounts payable inbox. You can attach them to your requisition. But if they do go to the accounts payable inbox, or you've already got your vendor trained, like that's your PO number, that's your blanket PO number, that's your regular PO number, send your invoice. It says it on the POs that they get. Invoices go to accounts payable at MCC NEB. So if it goes that way, it's going to get paid too. You don't have to attach it on the requisition stage, certainly.
Great, thank you.
All right. Anything else on invoices that's worth mentioning
Yeah.
before we move
So
on?
I just wanted to show a quick demo, if I
Oh,
could,
go ahead.
of what one looks like when it comes to your tasks. Because sometimes I get questions that are like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this? I've never seen this before in my life. And I'm like, okay, everybody relax. Let me show you what we got going on. So this is unfortunately for Elizabeth Townsend is going to be our guinea pig. So here's two ways that a supplier invoice may show up in your tasks. So anytime I put in a supplier invoice that wasn't attached to a PO, it needs to be approved. Just to make sure that we have the item, that the item is fine, or the services were performed, or what have you. So this is normally what it'll look like in your task. It'll be in the front page. And then when you click on it, you'll come to your inbox. It'll have the invoice number. It'll have the PO business line document here that was created on your PO. It'll have the invoice itself, so you can look into the invoice itself. Any comments, it'll have the process history, like who put it in, who did what. And it will have, what it's for, how much it's for. All I need you to do on this screen is press approve or send back. Send back is if there's a problem with the invoice, like the vendor charged us too much or too little. That's when you would send it back if I'm waiting for a credit or we need to get the invoice adjusted. Or maybe that item was damaged or something and we also need a credit for that. It's not for if we haven't received it yet, if we're waiting on goods or services to be performed, because when you send it back to me and we don't have the item, I'm not going to know when we do to send it back to you. So I'm asking you to keep that in your inbox until you feel it's appropriate to say this is done or we have it. And that's when you can approve it and send it through the system. You can also add approvers if you feel like somebody else needs to see the invoice for some reason, which is totally fine. You might also see a match event for an invoice, and that means that we have a certain threshold for our POs that we're allowed to go over. So even if it's, even if they charged us a little bit more for our PO, it's still okay. But we might have to go through a match event, which looks like this. It's a match exceptions. And it just means that we went a little bit too much over our PO. And all you have to do here, it's the exact same process. You can either send it back or submit instead of approve this time, but it means the exact same thing. So submit or approve means you're saying, okay, we can pay this invoice, and sending it back means, hey, there's a problem. That's really all I had for invoices. I mean, you guys have pretty much got it.
Bree, if your requisition was for $5,000 and the invoice came in for 5,400, and you said submit, like it's okay to pay,
Yeah.
but it's $400 over, are you saying that it's going to go through the approval process because of the increase? Or if it's within 10%, will it pay? What's your,
Within 10%, it's not even going to do this.
okay,
So within 10%, it's not going to do any of that. So if it's for $5,000 and it's 5,400 instead, it's not even going to do a submit a match event.
okay,
It's if it's over that, and normally that could be for freight, like they didn't put freight on the PO. But it's very few and far between, but it does happen. So that'll just go through the match event, and then we'll just hit submit, and then we can increase where we need to increase.
okay. So just be aware, sometimes things will go back through for some approvals again, and it's actually, great that it does that. So there's documentation for,
Yeah.
why we paid for something. We used to do it by phone, or we used to do it handwriting on something and putting it in a file, and then the auditors would have to pull all that. So this way it's all going to be there and have the signatures on it.
So I just wanted to point out that submit pretty much means the exact same thing as approve. But yes, that's an important point to make, just so we have the documentation that says, yes, it's a little bit over, but it's all right. And that's really all I had from my
Brianna.
for my section.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have a couple of other procurement related tasks. So switching gears just a little bit to P card transactions, which has become something that you all have been using for the last, I would say, month or two. So Carol has some information, just some reminders on P card transactions.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Search bar, we're going to do the verify. Verify procurement card transactions.
And of course, if you were like having your own desktop, like you do, you can save these as your favorites. So you can always be pulling up your favorites instead of typing in that top bar, but
Yeah, we'll go do that. Pick your menu, your shortcuts, verify. So when you're in this screen and you are verifying your transactions, you select This has 7/22 on it. I can do more than one because they have the same date. I'll just do a couple. This document date with the red asterisk has to be changed, and it has to be the same as the transaction date. Then you can go, okay. Here are your transactions. You come across the first one, and if you want a little more information on that before you start filling it out, you can actually click here. There we go. And then it tells you a little bit more about it. This one tells me this is the AAA airfare, and it gives me the passenger name. So whatever purchase you're making, that'll give you just a little bit more information. You do not have to fill out this stuff here on the top. Come down to your transaction, do your item line description, what you bought, why you bought it, your spend category. Going over to, and then of course you do your fund, cost location, cost center. We're good to go there. You come down and it has to have an attachment or you will get an error message. So I'll just stick something in there. There we go. And you can put a little bit more of a description here. Details. And then you hit, but don't submit it until you do your other one. And again, you can look at a little more information, do your costs and check your cost center. It'll always go to your default cost center, and that's the one that is in Wells 1. You can change that default according to which cost center it's supposed to bill or belong to. When you do that, then it will also go for approvals by the cost center manager that you enter in here. So right now, I just have the purchasing accounts payable. That will go to KT. She's the only person who has to approve it. And again, just do your and when you're done, you can check your document date again, 7/22, looks good. Transaction date, 7/22, and submit. There, it tells you KT goes, has to approve it next. So that's the verify. Let's look at one that you aren't completing it. You have a couple things you need to do. So you started it. Well, let's see.
Carol, I wanted to point something out on that last screen.
I can go back.
Okay. Oh, okay. So they all do need to be the same date, but you can filter by your transaction date. So go to the top right there. Yep, click that. And then you can filter so that they're all the same date that you want to work with. So anytime you see these gray bars, you can filter and then pick your days that way
Mhm.
so that they're all the same when you're doing these. And that's all I wanted to point out.
You bet.
Those are
And these
really good.
pages work much the same way that the Excel spreadsheet. You can go over here and you can sort by amount, filter. Yeah, so those work really well. Okay, so let's say I'm doing all of these and I come in here, but I didn't have time to do them all. Or I hit save for later. So when I come back in here, I'm going to say, okay, it's saved for later, but wait a minute, where are they? That was 7:22, they're not here. And I go into a little bit of a panic when I see they're missing. So you want the verify procurement card transaction screen to be your main screen. And when you have to save it for later,
And it will automatically save them. So like if you were working in something, it's gonna do this indexing.
index isn't showing up here.
You were at verify.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So let's go to my procurement card transaction. There. And you'll see a few choices. The only one you need to be using is the My Procurement Card Transaction Verifications Indexed. Remember the index, it's pretty easy. It's in the parentheses. And the one that you saved for later, the ones that you saved for later, here they are, the 7:22.
Very nice. So then if you're able to get back in there and you submit through, then it will still also show in your completed.
Oh, good for pointing that out. Yes, it'll show the status. We have
Yeah.
the draft approved, in progress.
Nice.
In progress means you finished your part and it is in your approver's queue.
Okay.
The draft you haven't finished yet, you still have more to do with that. So let's go to the draft. Here we go. It already assigned a P card number. So go ahead and click the number. There you are. There are those two charges that we did not complete. And we finished that. And again, in order to do that, you have to select edit. When you're in this screen, it won't let you do anything until do your little Twinkie dots. Edit. There you go. Now it'll let you complete.
We also added this information to help troubleshoot inside of the job aid that is available as well.
Good.
Any other questions or concerns that you get a lot, Carol?
This would be the main one. The date, document date, transaction date. This has now been fixed. Thank you, Brianna. So if these dates are not the same, it'll give you an error message. Now this one is receipt is required, and that's a good one, error message, because then you can see clearly what it needs.
Nice.
So we'll finish that
Really
later.
helpful. I did see some questions in chat. We have just a few minutes left, and I want to make sure we touch on non-employee payment requests, because
Okay.
that is another procurement item that I know you all deal with a lot.
Okay, so what would be the question here?
I think that we want folks to know the two-step process for the employee payment requests. And I know that you talked about supplier requests earlier, and each individual that you're paying outside of MCC needs that new supplier request. And then also then that create requisition task for the payment.
I'll touch on this one. So it's exactly the same as a regular requisition. You still go in, create your requisition. The only difference is that we prefer you to use requisition type non-employee payment. So if you're paying an individual for something like a speaking fee, an honorarium fee, we prefer that you use the requisition type non-employee payment. And you click that, and then the rest of it is exactly the same. I do want to say that doing these, you may not have an invoice. They're not always invoiced. So we have made it so that AP also gets all requisitions and POs with non-employee types. So you won't have to worry about any invoicing problems, any delays in payment when you choose the non-employee payment type as your requisition type.
So if
But-
you're running a program and you've got a bunch of students that you have to pay their, $50 helper fee, you do these non-employee payments, it's going to automatically go to AP to pay.
Yep.
It's not going to get stuck because, oh, there's no invoice from this, 20-year-old kid who doesn't have a company to supply you an invoice with.
Yep. So if we're paying just a person, we'll just do non-employee payment requisition, and it gets sent directly to us, so that we can pay it.
Nice. Thanks, Brianna. The other thing I wanted to just mention on that is that we are creating a job aid that will be available on the Workday Finance site. And that's something that if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out on. And then Katie, I know you joined us just a little bit late, but do you want to circle back to our updates that we had and anything else you would like to mention?
Yeah, so just a couple of things. So it's 9:59, and I know we haven't got to Jordan's part, which is expense reports, and we can stay on, and anybody can stay on if they want to go a little longer here, or we can schedule something else later and post that in Unity so we can do just an hour of expense reports or something. So we're not if you were here for that, sorry, but we can stay on. We can say we'll talk in a second. The other thing is they have changed the business office's name to kind of mirror what the Workday system is. So, Workday has the HR part, and Workday is going to have the student services part, and then Workday has this financial accounting part. So, everything that's in this area, from me to, Frankie to the new controller that's in the organization, we're all one. And so we do have a new title now, and you'll be seeing it more often on Unity and in the communications.
So thanks for that update. The other thing I want to make sure and highlight really quickly is that we do have additional resources available at the Workday Finance site on Unity. The other thing, we'll go ahead and send the information that we shared today also over to you all through email, anyone who registered, and you'll also get links to recordings. So this week, our new YouTube site will be up. Really excited for you all to take advantage of that. Our recordings will all be there from all of the past trainings. The other thing too, I want to just highlight, I just chatted with Jordan quickly. We will set up an additional training because procurement is very task heavy. We will set up another session on expense reports and reimbursements, so stay tuned on that.
And
And
if you
then,
have questions in the meantime, you can send them over to Jordan by email and we'll get back to you right away. So,
yeah,
but we will do another session then too.
all right. Do we have anything else that we'd like to cover before we log out of here?
And if there's any questions in the chat that we haven't covered, we'll do those as well to everyone.
That sounds good. Yeah, if
I
there's
know
any,
Brianna's been answering pretty quickly, so.
yeah, there are quite a few things that came through on chat. Thank you so much for your questions. And then, like I said, reach out to the team or even reach out to our team if you have questions on anything that we haven't covered. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Or if you have suggestions on improvements to training or things we're missing, things you'd like to see, also give Sarah that feedback.
Yeah, sounds good. All
Okay.
right. Thanks, everybody. Great job today.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.